drove herself to the hospital while Caleb was with the kids. Knowing that he would be with the children, she secured all of her finances and made sure that there were enough groceries in the house for them. When Ariella got to the hospital, she bled so much that her blood pressure was low. She talked to several specialists regarding her complications, and they recommended that she not carry on with the pregnancy because her health was at risk now. Ariella had already started to dilate and go into preterm labor. There was nothing the doctors could do to save her baby. She sat in the room and cried. She was 5 months pregnant. Ariella prayed in the hospital all night and day and waited for a miracle to happen. She woke up the next day, and nothing miraculously had occurred to change her child's situation. She stayed in bed during her stay at the hospital and read the whole book, Battlefield of the Mind, Winning the Battle in Your Mind. She learned that the battle started in the mind. Ariella learned how to take control of her thoughts, and she wanted to apply those skills to her life because her negative thoughts were completely controlling her. She learned how to turn something that was negative into a positive by thinking about what she was grateful for. She started to switch her focus on thoughts of gratitude. Ariella said quietly, "Thank you, God, that I am still alive and that my children are well and healthy." She listened to the music channel in the hospital. She also listened to the births of other women celebrating and enjoying their newborn babies. Ariella knew that she would not be leaving the hospital with her child. She began to talk and shed tears about her baby and think about the dreams she had. Her mother visited her in the hospital the next day. When she found out what was going on, Ariella secretly gave her mother all of the money that she had and told her to hold on to the money until she contacted her later. Caleb visited the hospital and asked Ariella where her purse, credit cards, and money had gone. He said he needed those items to take care of the kids, and Ariella said that everything was already taken care of. There were groceries in the house and gas in the car. The next day, Caleb brought the kids up to say hello to Ariella. Then he told Ariella that he would come back up to the hospital and stay the night with her. Instead, he dropped the kids off at his aunt's house and went to the bar that evening. Ariella thought to herself, people grieve in different ways. Maybe he just wanted to get drunk to get his mind off of what was going on. It was peaceful here without him. Ariella's stepdaughters came up to visit her in the hospital and to let her know that Cheryl, Ariella's stepdaughter, had a baby 3 rooms down from her. Then they also asked where their dad was. Wasn't he supposed to be up at the hospital with her? Ariella just calmly said, "I'm okay, don't worry about me." The next day, Ariella went into labor and delivered her baby boy, Elijah. She held her fragile baby close to her chest as she swaddled his body in her hand. She moved his tiny hands and fingers. They were smaller than the tips of Ariella's finger. She watched while he looked like he was sleeping peacefully as his light shined brightly for 30 minutes. Then she saw Elijah's internal light flicker and then dim. Then finally, his light disappeared. She watched him slip into an eternal sleep. He was so small, and she understood then why the doctors couldn't save him. She knew that his lungs were not developed enough to use a premature ventilator. She had an unexplained peace and love where she could feel the presence of something bigger than this world, bigger than her problems. She felt connected to her son and God at the same time. Ariella knew that death was not the end, and that there was something in this world bigger than her and her problems. She had peace because she was able to say goodbye, and because the baby didn't struggle. Elijah grieved her and inspired her at the same time. She was able to say goodbye to him face to face and tell him how much she loved him. Hours later, Caleb came to the hospital after dropping the kids off at school and daycare and asked Ariella and the nurse for some pain medication because he was upset about the loss of his child. Before Ariella came, she told the helping nurse in the hospital that she only used Tylenol for pain medication. Reflection on grief. After the death of her son, Ariella had no emotions, no joy, no laughter. She just went through the routines. She had lost her son and her husband to infidelity and drugs. She had no hope. She just stared and cried, saying, "I have nothing left to give. Everything was ripped out of my soul." She wanted to die and go to heaven to be with her son. She couldn't find anything to focus on or to be grateful for. Her strength came from her son and daughter. They needed her. She was grateful that she still had them and that they were alive and well. Ariella needed tools to get help so she could be a good mother to them. She wanted to get herself back, but didn't know where to start. She remembered going to pick up her son's birth certificate from the record office. When she walked up to the counter, she told the clerk that she was picking up her son's birth certificate and told the clerk the date. The clerk said with a smile, "Congratulations on the new birth of your baby boy." She then told her that she also needed the death certificate, and the clerk asked her the date. She told her it was the same day. Everyone in the office stared at her in pity. Then the clerk said, "Here you go. I'm so sorry for your loss." Then Ariella ran out of the building and started to cry and cry. Grieving is a process that you go through. However, she believed that one day she would be reunited in heaven with all four children that she lost during the last 10 years, and that is what gets her through those tough times. When she thinks about the babies that she lost, she knows that she will never forget them. Death is not the end, and that one day they will be reunited. A couple of weeks later,